Section 10.1 deals with the law of cosines. The law of cosines allows us to solve triangles that are not right triangles. SOHCAHTOA and Pythagorean theorem do not work with a triangle that's not a right triangle. Usually you will use the law of cosines when the information in the problem provides you with side, angle, side, or side, side, side. These three formulas are the same. You have this A over here is opposite the angle on this side, and you have the sum of the two sides minus 2 times the product of the sides. Example 1. They ask you to solve triangle ABC, which means they need to find, let's change these letters. This is B, this is A, this is C. Scribble that out. Okay. They want me to find angle A, angle B, and side C. Using the law of cosines, I can say that C squared is equal to 2 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 times 3 times 2 times the cosine of 95. I put that in my calculator and ended up with C squared equals 14.046. Remember to take the square root. So side C is really 3.748. Now, using that information, I can solve for angle B. I put 3 squared equals 2 squared plus 3.748 squared minus 2 times 3.748 times the cosine of B. I did 3 squared, subtracted 2 squared, subtracted 3.7 squared, and divided by this product, and end up with the cosine of B equals 0.6035. Then I used the inverse, so I did second cosine, and you end up with the inverse cosine of 0.6035 gives you angle B, which is 52.88 degrees. So now I know this is 52.88. Angle A I can find by taking 180 minus 95 minus 52.88, and I get angle A is equal to 32.12. This triangle, they gave me the 3 sides and no angle. So I will have to use the law of cosines twice to find the angles. Again, let's change this to A, B, and C. So if I want to find A first, I do 6 squared equals 5 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 5 times 8 times the cosine of A. I do 6 squared first, I subtract 5 squared, I subtract 8 squared, I divide by negative 2 times 5 times 8, and end up with a decimal. I do the inverse cosine, and I ended up with A is equal to 48.509. I did the same thing to find angle B. I said 5 squared equals 6 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 6 times 8 times the cosine of B. Using the inverse button, I ended up with B is equal to 38.624. Subtracting 180 minus 48.509 and subtracting 38.624, I ended up with angle C equal to 92.866. So here's one angle, and one angle, and one angle, and I have solved the triangle. The last example is an application problem. We have a golfer that's hitting his golf ball, and he hit it off course. We're going to use the information in the picture to figure out how far it is to the green, so he knows which club to take out of his bag. Well, again, we are given side, angle, side. I'm looking for D. So D squared is equal to 35 squared plus 150 squared minus 2 times 35 times 150 times the cosine of 110. I end up with d squared equals 27,316.212. Don't forget to take the square root. So my distance is really 165 feet, 0.276. Oh, it's yards. So now we can decide which club to take out of the bag to hit 165 yards.